listening to the Bag of Games Game Out Loud podcast for Tuesday, March 12th, 2013. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Bag of Games Game Out Loud podcast. I'm your host this week, Colin Cooper, and I have with me the old school, the real deal, the original crew, the old school gangsters. We have today Jordan, the biggest Creed fan, I mean the band, Jordan Rusnak.
Will you take me? Yeah, let's do some podcast.
Thank you, Jordan. And of course, we have the president of the Taylor Swift fan club, Rob Peterson.
Yes, it's a pleasure to be here and a pleasure to meet you both.
Yes. I hope that she has more breakup songs coming out, as I'm sure you do too.
Oh, we can assure you that.
Excellent.
So combine forces with Taylor Swift and Scott Stapp. That'd be awesome.
Scott Stapp, he's more awesome because
you have his autograph.
I don't have his autograph.
Oh, you lost it?
Has his autograph. That's a weird story, but my ex's mom, she was working at, she works at a pizza place in a mall, and he came up in San Antonio, and he came up and was super drunk apparently, and said, you know, do you know who I am? She's like, no, because she didn't give a fuck at all. And he was like, I'm Scott Stapp from Creed. And she's like, oh my god, let me get your autograph. He wrote down on a placemat his autograph,
classy.
So apparently he was really weird and drunken for whatever reason in a mall in San Antonio. But that's neither here nor there. But what is here and now is the Game Out Loud podcast 1 year anniversary. This very podcast, so congratulations to us. We did it. We made it 1 year, and
Woo!
Many guys.
Happy birthday.
Can we drink yet?
I'm drinking now.
That's not legal. We're not over 21 yet.
And we're only 1 year old. Yeah, that's true. We got 20 years ago. So in 20 years, when we're still podcasting, and I'm 50, and you guys are in your 40s, then we can drink.
That's when we'll officially release the Game Out Loud beer.
Game Out Loud beer. Yeah, hopefully it's an IPA. I prefer those.
No. It'll be an oatmeal stout.
But those are good too. But yeah, it's been a great year. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I hope some of you have stayed with it for the whole time. I hope that some of you have even been with us, since the very beginning. As unlikely as that is, but if you haven't, or if you have, we're here for you, and it's been a really good year, and I'm really, really happy that we got this far. So I'd just like to say thanks to both you guys for this really cool thing that we do. So,
and I'd like to remind our listeners that it is our anniversary. I want nice things.
Yeah, please don't forget our anniversary. Write us cards, write us emails.
It makes us feel like you don't love us when you don't, buy us nice things on our anniversary.
What you should really do, too, if you're one of those nice people who wrote us a review on iTunes before we switched our feed, go on over to our new feed, which is linked below on Bag of Games, and write us a review on there.
But
we would love you forever.
You're probably thought we stopped doing the podcast if you're one of those people, because we switched feeds and that old feed just died. So you probably thought we stopped doing it, but we didn't. We're here. We're alive.
That's the worst thing. It didn't die. It's still up.
No,
we can't get it
died.
off. Oh, did it?
Wait, the old.
Anyway.
Thank God. Hey, we're here. It's been a year. It's been great. So let's talk about some video games, because that's what we goddamn do. So, Jordan, what have you been playing this week?
Well, as you may know, Colin, I recently made the purchase of about 10 computer parts and put them all inside a case. And
also, that's really awesome. So that's congratulations, Jordan. It's like having a child. Congratulations, you have a new baby. Could you tell us about your baby, please? Tell us about the specs of.
And welcome, sir, to the wonderful world of proper PC gaming.
I know, right? Well, let's see. I went with an i5 3750, I believe, for the processor, the GTX 670 for the graphics card, an Asus P877 for the motherboard. I don't know, an OCZ 700 watt power supply.
Yeah. So anyway,
Combat like
you're
sport.
a benchmark for a while. That's great.
Yeah, just call me Mr. 1694, by the way, for Nova Bench.
Okay. I cannot benchmark. I'm behind you now. Congratulations. You've taken the lead in the podcast, I believe now. Is that right?
Well, we all need
Right.
to run Nova Bench, but he's a good 35% ahead of me. So
And you're at least that ahead of me.
yeah.
So yeah, I've fallen to the bottom. Thanks a lot, Jordan.
No problem. I got to say, I went back and I've been installing games on this thing and playing games that I have played before, like Just Cause 2. Do you know how amazing that game looks with everything turned on?
I do actually.
How amazing.
It looks more amazing than that one chick that you think is the most amazing.
Does it look better than Crisis 3?
No. It
No.
doesn't. Oh, dude, Crisis 3, like you should benchmark that out. Like I want to see some screenshots from your computer because that shit probably looks crazy on your computer.
I had it on PS3, buddy, and I already sold it. So
Well, well, a man can dream.
indeed, I'll get it one day. But with this purchase of this system came the caveat that I need to curtail my video game spending for a little while. So, yeah.
So is that negatory? Are we getting a negatory on the gameplay for you? Besides our topic, of course.
The negatory for the gameplay on what?
In general, you're saying you're pretty. I think this is building. It feels like it's building up too well. I bought a big piece, so I didn't play any games.
Well, the good news is there's nothing really coming out for a while after BioShock Infinite.
And I've already got that one, so I'm good. I've got that pre-ordered and paid off. But no, I played Just Cause 2. Really liked how that looked. Like the draw distance is amazing. I brought up The Witcher 2, turned that all the way to maximum, Uber textures and everything, whatever they call it, and ran it perfectly fine.
What did you think of your time with that game?
I did the tutorial,
Yeah.
and now I am in the actual game. But the tutorial was fun. Like I like with the changes that they've made to the combat system.
It feels really Bioware, doesn't it?
Kinda, yeah. But I'm playing with a controller, not a mouse and keyboard, because where I was at when I was playing this didn't have a place for me to set up my mouse and keyboard, so I was trying it out with a controller.
Third person too, right? Isn't it?
Yes.
That's the way to go on third person. I think is
Not necessarily with RPGs though.
Yeah, I mean this one would control well with the keyboard as well, and I would need less pausing to do like my signs and all that.
I struggled with the keyboard on that one, and then I like I was like, oh, it like made sense. It was one of those games where I was like, God damn it, this is so complicated. And then I did the gamepad, and I was like, oh, okay, way easier. Because there's so many sub menus of things, and you have to remember the keys to push for those sub menus in that game.
Oh yeah, see, that's what I thought would be improved is the fact that you'd have a lot quicker one touches instead of having to go like quick menu, select another quick menu, then move in and then select something and then use up and down to actually select the stuff that's going on in there.
No, with keyboard and mouse, it's like it all has different keys. With the gamepad, it's like one button to like move to sub menus, and that button you're like, wait, which one? Oh, right, okay, F goes there, and then E. Okay, cool. So like, and there's so much mapping. I was like, this is a headache, and then I put it on the D-pad, and I was like, oh wait, that's streamlined. Okay.
Yeah, it works really well with the D-pad. It looks really pretty too. I was that intro just blew me away. I was on a call with Rob when I did it. And I was like, that is an amazing intro.
Yeah, that is some good CG, huh?
Oh, yeah. Like, everything frozen and just falling apart. Like, imagine how fast that guy is actually running at the king. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, he is moving way quick. I mean...
You see the arrow bowing,
Yep.
Up and down as it's firing? Oh.
Yeah, it's so great. Let's see, what else did I play? I played some Mass Effect. I played a little bit more Crisis 3. I just couldn't get too hardcore into it. It was fun for what it was, but there are much better games out there to me than this. I mean, I like eye candy, but I can't just use eye candy to sacrifice for the gameplay. So
yeah, I didn't beat it either.
That.
I still haven't.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I feel you. I think it's a pretty cool game, but I don't know. There's something that maybe it was kind of Rob's fault, really. So
yeah, it wasn't Crytek at all. Blame Rob.
No, it was Rob's fault. Well, actually, I mean, for me, it kind of was, and I don't mean Rob. We already talked about this, and Rob says I should beat it, and I totally should. But Rob was like, "Oh, the end's so shitty. You're pretty much through all the good parts." I was like, "Oh, well, I got bigger fish to fry." Kind of.
And I stand by that, but I also think you should play it just because the end of the game is so bombastic. Yeah. Even though it's not fun to play.
Like you don't control it.
You do control it. You'll see what I mean when you get there. It's kind of a weird end boss fight.
Okay.
I hear it looks great.
So you pretty much kind of going back to older games, kind of testing out what your system can do. It sounds like.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and the last thing I have to pull up that I haven't pulled up yet that I've installed recently was Chivalry.
Oh.
Because
Nice.
I was running that on absolute bare bones minimum. 'Cause it wouldn't work otherwise because my computer was too slow. So, also I did want to mention at some point in my past, in the last year, when we've been doing this podcast, I thought that at some point I had played Sleeping Dogs, but I am now under the impression that I did not play Sleeping Dogs, because I installed that this weekend too. I purchased that on a sale because I knew I was getting the computer sometime soon, relatively, and that game is fantastic.
I thought
The
you played it. I thought you had talked about it slightly, maybe in September or something.
I thought I had too, but maybe I played a demo that didn't really do it justice. But I'm actually playing the game now. I mean, especially I was probably playing it on PlayStation as well. So, on the system, oh my God, dude, it looks fantastic. Like I am a graphics whore. I know this, and it just made me sit there and smile the entire time. I mean, the movement is very, very fluid. The gameplay is a lot of fun. The combat seems like it's going to be upgradable and a lot of fun. It just looks like something that I'm gonna have a great time just running around in and just kicking ass in. So, Sleeping Dogs. Look forward to talk about that a little later on. But other than that, just going back, playing old stuff, trying to see what I can find something to make my computer chug, and I don't think I have yet. But I don't have Fraps installed, so I don't have any real-time monitoring.
Very cool. Very cool. Thanks, Jordan, for sharing what you've been playing, and congratulations on your brand new, very powerful baby computer.
Yes, I called Rob and I was excited, and he's like, "You'll probably be this excited when you have a kid," and I'm like, "Yeah, but less proud and probably less excited."
Wow.
No,
Let's
just
cut
kidding.
that out of the podcast for posterity's sake. No. So your children like you because you're getting married soon. So I'm sure children are right around the corner, aren't they?
Yeah, few years down the road.
Yeah, it happens. All right. Well, thanks, Jordan. Rob, so what have you been playing this week besides the topic?
Yeah, well, I played a lot of the topic, but I did manage to squeeze some time in for some other stuff. One of the things I picked up that I want to talk about that was kind of interesting was actually a mod, or more accurately, a total conversion mod for Amnesia: The Dark Descent.
Oh, yeah, I saw you playing that, but it wasn't that.
Right. This is called White Knight. It takes place in this weird hospital, which I was delighted to see was in Denver, which is where I live, in case you don't know.
Right.
And it's kind of like Amnesia, but a little more plot driven and a little less atmosphere driven. There's still a lot of atmosphere, don't get me wrong, but it's more of a thriller where you've lost your memory and you wake up in this. There's flashbacks, so you did something bad and that you were in a mental hospital, but now the mental hospital has been abandoned for years and years, and there's like dead bodies in it. And you're just trying to figure out what happened. And for a free mod, it's pretty cool. It's got that art style I don't usually care for much, the kind of like Saw. Everything looks like it's covered in shit. You guys know what I mean? The kind of industrial, grimy look.
Yeah, that sort of like I don't want to step on a nail or cut myself because I'm going to get tetanus and probably AIDS.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's kind of got that look, so it's really dreary and grim, but I'm kind of enjoying it.
Cool.
What's got its hooks into you? Like, is there any one specific thing that's got you, or is it just the overall arc of the game?
Well, actually, interestingly, I kind of like the way they have the game laid out, the way it works, the way the puzzle solving happens, and kind of the scripted events that they work in. And I really like the Amnesia engine anyway, because it's super simulated and first person. You guys know that's like my big thing.
Oh yeah.
and they've done a good job with integrating that kind of stuff into the puzzles here. So I think that's the main draw I'm having towards it. But it also seems like the story that they have going on is kind of interesting, especially for a mod.
How far into it are you right now?
Oh, not super far. Probably 45 minutes or an hour.
Man, that's more than I have into Amnesia. I'll tell you that.
Hey, some mods you might almost be done with it with some mods at that rate.
Yeah, and I've just barely scratched the surface.
So
These
these are
scratch your surface.
whoa.
I mean your tablet. Sorry.
So this is a serious mod, though.
Yeah,
right?
it's very serious mod.
Yeah, these are like real, like almost like borderline devs. It sounds.
So these are guys that Valve will eventually probably be looking at sometime.
I wouldn't go that far. The game, I mean, visually and stuff, you can tell that the model hands are mittens, and you can tell they're amateurs, but it is a lot more in depth and well designed, at least, than most mods you're gonna play.
Is that the technical term for when the fingers don't move? They're called mittens.
I have no idea, but that's what they look like.
Yeah. Let's call it a technical term now.
Yeah.
Bag of Games Game Out Loud podcast technical dictionary mittens. Cool, Rob. Well, what else have you been playing, man? I mean, you obviously, I know you. I've seen many an hour put into our topic game because we can all spy on each other in Steam, which I love.
You can't
Right.
spy on me when I play that game because I'm playing it on PlayStation, baby.
Oh,
Only
snap, son!
Although now I'll get to have pretty graphics. I really can't wait, guys. I want you to know that. Like, I've been playing games on this PlayStation and loving it because it's what I have. But honestly, Colin, I've so many times just wanted to say fuck you because you're just like,
What?
oh, it looks so pretty. It looks amazing. Like you're like this. It just looks so great on this. Oh, you're playing it on PlayStation.
Well, there's a serious handicap. It's like you're like, dude, it looks pretty good on my 7-year-old computer.
Pretty much. I mean, that's what it feels like too. I mean, I'm looking at our topic game, and I'm thinking about Far Cry and how much I think Far Cry looks great on the PS3. And well, we all know
Good.
what I'm probably going to do in my pants if I play it on the PC.
Right, and that actually is a great segue, Rob. Because I think I'd like you to mention this if you don't mind, is the Far Cry we've been playing.
That's why I kind of
Yeah.
did that.
And we talked a little bit about this last week, but we're still chugging away at the Far Cry 3 co-op, and I'm still chugging away at the single player, actually. I still haven't beaten it, and I've got over 20 hours in the game. And I feel like I'm just scratching the surface of what there is to do on the island. But as far as co-op goes, is it just me, or is this really, really good?
It's so good. It's stupid. I didn't know it was there. Why didn't they promote this more?
Oh, they promoted it pretty heavily, I think, in their ads. Like I mean, if you watch the Steam trailer, there's a heavy section on the co-op, and they made me interested in it, and I generally
yeah, but
don't.
Steam trailer, but like they didn't like the.
Well, it's the
general
press. I think the reviewers and stuff were just kind of lukewarm on it for the most
They
part.
were. It was, but it really
And they're wrong.
feels. It feels like a Left 4 Dead, like not like a Left 4 Dead, but tactical combat. You know, because it's 4 players, and Rob and I have been playing it too, and you don't get the other AIs, unfortunately.
So it's not like Left 4 Dead, and that means.
It's not like Left 4 Dead, and that means, but it feels very Left 4 Dead in a lot of ways. You know, it's kind of hard to explain. It's kind of rides that middle area where it's very Left 4 Dead, but you know, there's no zombies and it's more tactical. However, when you play it, you get a Left 4 Dead sense just from the way it's so well implemented in a co-op environment, in objectives. You know, like a lot of times you've got to repair something, protect something, go somewhere, and that's very Left 4 Dead. But it just has that feel, probably because it's so well implemented. And Left 4 Dead is probably one of the best co-op experiences I've ever had.
And also the way the NPCs, or well, not the NPCs, the character that you're playing, the interaction they have between each other, the kind of cracking wise and all that stuff that they do. It has that vibe, even though the gameplay itself isn't really much like Left 4 Dead. I can definitely
They definitely took the note from Left 4 Dead of like, you know, I'm reloading, I'm getting ammo, here's ammo, I need help, all those calls, you know, like so you hear it in game. If the gamer doesn't tell you, like you hear it from the NPC or like from the character. Just like
I was just gonna say, do you guys want to hear? You've never heard from me ever.
What's that?
Yeah.
You want to play some Left 4 Dead after this?
Yeah.
Now that you've finally played the actual campaign, see, and I want to address this because I was editing the podcast from last week, and you said that you were talking about how you'd never played the single player Left 4 Dead, and we were like, oh, there's no single player. I didn't realize that you meant you'd never played anything but horde mode.
Yeah, that's all I'd played. Trying to
That's like-
survive in Moat Cailin. Wait, no, that's Game of Thrones. Where is?
You mean
Where's the
Helm's Deep?
Helm's Deep.
Oh,
Great
yeah.
mod, by
Might
the
as-
way.
Might as well be Moat Cailin.
No, yeah, no, dude. The game is Helm's Deep is a fun thing for probably players like Rob and myself who have put just a disgusting amount of hours into that game, you know. And so it's like, oh wow, something new and weird to like change it up, you know. The game itself though is so well executed. Some of the campaigns are so fun. They even have like moments of set piece like things, but very Valvean. You know, they do it in engine real time, and it happens there, like things flooding or big events happening. You know, it's excellent. I really would love to be part of your first experience for some of those levels too, because I'd love to see
Another
your
thing
action.
we can add to the Game Out Loud dictionary: Valvean.
Valvean, yeah, right.
Sounds kind of sexy.
It does.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, did you see that chick? She was rather Valvean.
Valvean, adjective, describing something that is very good because it was made by Valve.
So
Software.
I guess we couldn't use that until Valve makes the sex bot then.
Well,
That's part of their new biometrics controller.
yeah,
I figured
exactly.
it's got to test the throb. Anyway,
Their
before we get off
the
this,
new game
let's
goes
get off this.
fully crotch, actually. Anyway, yeah. But yeah, Rob. This Far Cry 3 multiplayer, though, Rob and I've been playing around with this for 2 weeks, right? And it feels like a fully fleshed out game to me. And sometimes, you know, it's that good sometimes.
Yeah, I'm really blown away by the amount of variety they get into the co-op after seeing the amount of variety they got into the single player campaign. It's like, how many people worked on this game to like smush all this shit into it? It's pretty astounding. Like in the co-op, there's one level where it completely changes what you've been doing, and then all of a sudden you're riding around on ATVs gathering up bombs to blow up a blockage in the road.
Yeah, or all of a sudden there's a sniper like competition, you know, between the two or four of you. It's so
That's
fun.
what I was talking about with the sort of competition style. That right there, the
Right.
sniper competition. That's what I saw.
Well, that's super rare though. That's like that's like 10% of your experience. Like and we only saw that in one of the two. Rob and I have played 2 campaigns, and we've only seen a competition mode come out of nowhere that one time out of 2 campaigns. So it was super random, which made it even better. So it's not like every campaign you're going to get that competition mode. It just happened to be there for whatever
Cool.
reason. And it was story. It worked in the story. Like you were on a bridge, you had to take out guys below, and so you both magically get sniper rifles. So that's kind of funny. I mean, you literally both magically like beep, boop, boo, magic sniper rifles. All right, competition.
Yeah,
Go.
it's really gamey, but it's awesome.
Yeah.
You know, I don't mind sometimes when games, like serious games, take a step back and allow themselves to be like, hey, I'm a game. I mean, like, I guess the highest extent of that would be the Deadpool game that I'm looking at buying sometime when it comes out, because Deadpool knows that he is in a video game. Because, I mean, come on, Deadpool knows he's in a comic. So
Yeah, that looks ridiculous with Nolan North as Deadpool.
I know, right? I can't wait. Like, I really hope it's not completely, like, just fuckered and just another IP-based game.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sure it will be.
Yeah, me
I
too.
know. But hopefully it's a good IP-based game.
Yeah, well, hopefully. Anyway, thanks, Rob. Anything else you want to touch on before we move on?
No.
Okay, cool. Well, for me, you know, I don't really have much to talk about either. Rob and I played, you know, the Far Cry 3 co-op, and I've been playing a lot of our topic game, Tomb Raider. Beyond that, you know, I touch on my iPhone games occasionally. I'm a big iPhone game fan, and I'm still cracking away at. I know it's barely a game, but you know, I've been cracking away at Angry Birds Star Wars, which I think is so fun. You get Han. Like, seriously,
Hey, I'm
Seriously.
with Colin.
Sorry.
Those games are good.
they're
I-
good.
I know.
Man.
I
They're really,
just-
really well done. It's crazy. Like you get a Han Solo bird that has the blaster. Like you get the Luke Skywalker bird, and he's got a fucking lightsaber, and it all plays in engine, and it all has like a lightsaber plays a very important part, and a blaster plays a very important part. Like it's all very well implemented. So I have
But
to say, those
how
games are
fast
fantastic.
can the Han bird do the Kessel run? How many parsecs does it take?
20 usually?
Okay.
Yeah.
As long
Now,
as he's
can you-
keeping up with the standard.
Can you
Yeah.
talk your way out of situations in Angry Bird? Is it like an in-depth RPG where you can?
No, no. It's more kill pigs on
Oh,
platforms.
okay. So it's a.
But sometimes the pigs
A machine for killing pigs, maybe.
sand people sometimes, and sometimes they're stormtroopers, which is great.
I don't really enjoy the colonialist, racist implications of this game, Colin.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Getting way too deep, man. Just play it on my phone. Just play it on my phone. But no, really, it is very well implemented game. It's very fun. It's very clever. They deserve all the money they've gotten, which is like $1 billion. They've had like
I think it's a cajillion.
a cajillion dollars. I think
Whatever that-
literally they've had over 700 million downloads of the game.
That's so insane.
Let's all take that in. like like yes, it's like most of it's probably Angry Birds 1 and it's a free game, but still 700 million people were like, oh yeah, I'll download that.
Well, I'm starting to see like Angry Bird plushies in the stores and stuff like
There's an
that.
Angry
So
Bird fucking theme park, I believe, in Europe, right?
Well, look at the economies of scale that are involved here. Like, more phones and tablets are sold in a month than probably consoles are sold in 3 years. So
The saturation of the platform is so much greater.
Yeah.
And it's so goddamn accessible. It's fucking free. Like, or if you want the Star Wars version, God forbid you pay the $1 it costs. Let's remember that. The most you ever pay for any Angry Birds game is $1 single.
there's no collector's edition where you get like a plushie and a real pig to come with it.
Maybe, but
You
seriously,
can just throw the plushie at the pig.
you can throw the plushie at the pig. But it's either free or it's $1, dude.
can you
Like,
throw a crab at a duck?
You can you cannot kill a chicken with a crab in the game.
I was
okay?
looking for a crab in
So-
Tomb Raider to kill the chicken I found, but I failed.
I know I did kill the chicken and then I skinned it or whatever.
I'm going to stick with Crisis for the time being then, but
Right. So yeah, one day we'll find the game where you can kill the chicken with the crab, and Rob will be happy again. And it's been a big pool of sadness for Rob ever since that. So.
I just hope some dev is randomly listening to us and he's like, you know what? I'm gonna make this. I'm gonna put this in here, and I'm gonna send you guys an email like 3 years when this game's done. And he's gonna be like, Rob, go kill this chicken with this crab. It'll get you extra points. It's called the game. Yeah, it's gonna be the Game Out Loud achievement.
Game Out Loud.
make it happen, Internet.
We will all literally. No, I was gonna say something really dirty. We will not do that with you if you do that. We will not.
No, I won't make out with you.
Because I've said literally, so it like kind of puts a heavier tone on it when you say literally. Anyway, so I'm gonna wrap it up right there, guys. I think we've talked that literally to death.
I like the fact that you're wrapping it up after you just got
That was
the
a nice on-topic segment, I gotta say. We did nice there, sticking on what we've been playing.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, we
No
sure
tangents at all.
whenever it's just the three of us, we really stick on topic.
Game Out Loud podcast, tangential podcast for all you
It's our
gamers.
anniversary, and we can do what we want, whether that's talking about tangents or crying, which I'm not going to do during the break because it's been a year. And it's been really fun. Anyway, thanks guys for listening to the first half of the show. We are going to take a break now, and when we get back, we are going to be talking about this week's release of the new and revamped Tomb Raider. So stick around. We'll see you soon.
Game Out Loud.
Do.
Get it out loud.
Game Out Loud.
All right, welcome back, everyone, to the Bag of Games Game Out Loud podcast. Hope you enjoyed the break. I guarantee we did, and there may even be some in the bloopers because I didn't know we were recording at the time. Anyway, we are here after the break to talk about our topic today, which is the new revamped and new reimagined, I guess, Tomb Raider. It's a new origin story for Lara Croft. By the way, it's not Laura Croft, just to clarify. It's Lara, and everyone says it is Laura. It's Lara. Anyway, moving on to Lara Croft and Tomb Raider. It's I think it's a great game. It's got some flaws, but we're going to talk about it. We're going to break it down, and let's go right around round robin real quick, guys, and just give your first impressions of the game, your first thoughts rather. And Jordan,
Me.
yeah. You are the freshest on it because you, I believe, just started in the last 24 hours, right? But have made considerable distance in the game, I believe, right?
Yeah, one word describes this game to me when I first started. Or sorry, two words. Fucking intense. Like
Yeah.
this game has the intensity that I haven't felt in a long time when it comes to game, a sense of urgency. I mean, you're in this like small area and the world's going down around you. Get out. Oh shit. Okay. I mean, just the cries of pain coming from Laura, the amount or Lara, sorry, the amount
Thank you.
of things that are happening and going on around you, and just the way that she interacts and moves within her environment. Usually, I feel I'm just playing an NPC, like I'm playing a character like that's just running around doing exactly what I tell them to do. Laura will hold her torch up and look at stuff as I'm walking through the game. She will like
Mhm.
point things out. She will move differently in different terrain, which is fantastic. Like I really did like the fact that I'm sitting there and she actually like turns and uses her torch to look at the wall or something while I'm moving. I think that was great. The amount of input you have during things that are typically one button presses in other games astound me. So usually when you go and you try to jump onto another area, like in Assassin's Creed, you just hit left and X when you're climbing and you jump onto that next area. Here, if you jump too far, you have to hit square or another button in order to grab on with the other hand, which I absolutely love that. It's a little more immersive. Your character is not it doesn't make your character feel like some superhero. Like she's slipping, she's falling, she's going to fall if you don't do some other input. And it's a lot of fun. And
Right.
brutal. Brutal. The death scenes are absolutely brutal.
Yeah, I know, right? I know. Where are you in the game? I think we can talk about. Well, let's not spoil any. Let's not do any spoilers. But what's happening currently in the game where you are, Jordan? Because Rob and I have both beaten it.
I just climbed up to the top of the radio tower.
Oh, okay, cool. So
Uh,
you're about a third of the way through, a fourth to a
okay.
third.
I
So
I
you've
just
got a
want to
lot of
point
game
out.
ahead of you.
I am very sadistic in this game, man. Like I will because I saw the first death scene when you were trying to get out from the cave and you're trying to kick the guy off, and if you mess up, a rock falls and like almost bisects you, and you're trying to get away, then all of a sudden another rock just comes and like crashes on your head. I'm like, okay, I am
Yeah.
going to find I'm going to lose every QTE from here on out.
Well, we're
At
going to
least
definitely talk about those QTEs because I think myself and I know Rob just from hearing some of his opinion before the podcast. I know we both have something to say about that. So I'm just going to kind of shift it over to Rob. What are your initial impressions of this game, Rob?
So this game was mistitled. It should not have been called
Okay.
Tomb Raider. It should have been called Lara Croft's Wacky Slapstick Island Adventure.
I would buy that.
Dude, why don't game companies hire you to title their games?
I know. The marketing department really missed out here.
Like I did now I want to get off topic and just go, what would you name Crisis 3? Eh? You know, like
graphics.
That's it.
Yeah.
Graphics.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Anyway, so yeah, what did you think?
No, it's good. I'm not going to go as far as to say it's great because it has too many flaws. But when this game is strong, it is really strong. And they did a really nice job of making Laura a character again and really kind of explaining how she became the badass anti-hero that we all know and love.
So you're saying they made her more than just polygonal boobs?
Well, yeah.
Look, let's not go too far saying anything here. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. God, wow. Okay.
I gotta
now I'm
I
just
gotta
an
say
asshole.
that.
Like,
Yeah,
it
I'm
was
just like,
either-
well, where do we go
either
from
a
there?
joke or I'm an asshole, one or the other. So I guess we'll go with the latter.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely made her feel a lot more fleshed out. But I mean, it's something they can do now, you know. I mean, back when these games were coming out, I mean, Tomb Raider came out on the original PlayStation. They didn't really have the means to make like, in my opinion, a fully fleshed out character. I mean, before
Well,
she seemed rather
actually,
Well,
fully
The
fleshed.
thing about the boobs
But
thing though is actually the boobs was a happy, if you want to call it that, accident. It was one of the designers fucking around. He made the boobs big, scaled them all big, and then showed somebody, and they were like, "Oh, we should keep that." originally she was normally bosomed, but now she kind of became famous for her accidentally gigantic rack,
Oh.
which was unfair, I think, to her character in the long run.
Yeah, but she didn't really have a
as
personality before. I mean,
she didn't.
she had lines, but she was just like cool anti-hero who was always, kind of like a pulp character. And now she really feels like a human being, and they did a really nice job with that. And I was skeptical about the voice actress because she sounded kind of flat in the promotional material.
Flat for Laura.
Shut up. But
This is gonna be a classy episode, I can tell.
Dude, when you have a game that had the Nude Raider mod, I mean, come on, it's gonna come up.
Well, but that's my whole point. Is this is not the Tomb Raider of old. This is definitely a new thing. They didn't waste their opportunity to do a reboot. They made something new, and they accomplished that.
Right. I mean, well, I think I agree. Her character was stronger. It definitely it runs a tight balance between being realistic, and you have those moments where she has her first kill, which was shown in the marketing material, was one of the first things showed actually in all the marketing material, and stirred up that whole hubbub about a quote unquote rape scene, which it was. I mean, technically, like the guy, which definitely adds to that, the tension in that scene. Like he's probably looking to take advantage of her, and then that is her first kill, and you feel the weight of that. And that is very human.
Was that
moment.
really the first kill though? I think she killed many people far away with a bow
but that was
before
her first
then.
kill, I thought, wasn't it?
No, that's just her first
game.
pistol kill. That's just her first pistol shot.
Was it her first pistol kill? I thought it was her first kill.
Yeah,
I'm not
'cause
gonna
no,
lie,
you were-
I don't remember, because what we were talking about with the QTEs, I was just groaning and rolling my eyes for the first hour of this game. I
you
did
should
not
have
care about
been
it
rolling
at
the
all.
thumbstick.
Dude, so bad. Like, by the way, the QTEs are terrible. I mean, I was talking to Rob about this on our video show, which will be up soon too, about our first impressions of the game. And there is an amazing moment that leads up to that. What I thought was first kill, and maybe I'm totally wrong on that. Maybe the game is such a blur of violence and mayhem too, and objectives, like the immediacy of the objective, that it's kind of hard to remember. But there's that amazing moment building up to that, which I remember very specifically, where Lara, is running up this kind of hillside, and she's tied at the hands behind her back, I believe, anyway, she's tied at the hands. She has no weapon, so it's all stealth. So as you move up the hill, you feel very much in control. You feel like you're taking control of Lara, and that you're making the choices of being stealth. But as I was going through it, I was like, wow, I'm doing really, really well at this. I think that this is a designed set piece, essentially, that is giving me what feels like advocacy over my character to be stealth. But I think that I'm getting an advantage here, as far as like design goes and the stealth
timing
mechanics,
and everything,
right? Because you feel like you're fucking badass as you go up there, and then you hit the moment right before the quote unquote, attempted rape scene, and I literally hit that moment being like, wow, that was so fantastic. Not because I didn't realize that it was planned out. It felt very planned out, but the way they planned it out felt just so well orchestrated. It felt almost Half-Life or Valvean, I guess we could use. It's a planned moment that felt so well executed. It was amazing. And then I hit one of the worst moments I'd played in a video game all year long, which was a series of QuickTime events that I failed like 10 times in a row. And
really?
About climbing out of the cave.
Yeah. No, the rape scene thing, where like you have to like hit him on the back, then bite his ear, then kick him down, then grab the gun, then shoot him, and then shoot him in the head. And I just kept fucking up at that. I thought it was poorly designed, and I thought it was poorly explained, and it was unnecessary. I didn't need, either make it a cutscene, don't let me control it, or make it live in engine. I don't care. The cutscenes are boring, or the QuickTime events are boring. Excuse me.
See, I think they're a good balance. I am not a huge QTE advocate, But I have been liking the ones that have been in this game. I mean, there's a few of them that are annoying. But I mean, that one particularly I liked. It added a sense of urgency for me. Mashing the button to try to get that gun turned around to him, and then like pulling the trigger, like you're sitting there focusing on that button, you're focusing, and then all of a sudden hit R1. Oh shit! Okay, switch gears. I
But
mean,
it's not just hit R1. It's like you have to hit it within a certain time frame, and they don't explain that to you, and it's not
it's a
designed.
QTE. It's designed into it. There is a time limit.
They're doing that to like handhold you though in the first part of the game, because the game in the second half, which you're not at yet, has almost no quick time events. They give up on that. They like in the first part it's so heavy because they're trying to teach you and trying to force this story on you. And in the second half they're like, all right, now just play. And it's like, God, thank you, Jesus. Let me just play.
I will say that I love the bow in this game, and it's not you can use it as much as you want because arrows are plentiful. At least is
Yeah,
where I am.
Ammo is plentiful.
Once you get past the awful part where the game keeps like wrestling control away from you, although that still does happen with cutscenes throughout the game, but once the QTEs go away, the gameplay mechanics they have in place are really good. The weapons feel good. The weapon upgrade system feels good. Like you said, the bow's awesome, and you use it for all kinds of stuff. It's a tool in addition to being a weapon, and as you get different types of arrows, it becomes more and more versatile. But yeah,
And it feels good, it feels good not just like as an RPG element, but like you feel badass as you kind of feel weak at first, and the game does really well at making you be like, God damn it, I feel weak, and then at the end you feel amazing because you feel skilled.
right.
Well, and I like the fact that they're actually taking the whole. I mean, it's kind of the Far Cry thing again, right? Like Laura is kind of standoffish about killing people, then all of a sudden she's not, and they actually kind of portray that in the fact that you unlock a new set of skills um, after a certain amount of time. You get the brawler skills because now she's not afraid to stick that pickaxe in someone's face.
Right, right. It does it, and I think that was an obvious comparison is to say Far Cry, and it feels very Far Cry, and a lot of people, and Rob and I were talking about this just before the podcast because we were playing Far Cry 3, is there are a lot of very similar design elements, although it couldn't have ripped them off because this is happenstance because they were being developed at the exact same time. But, um, you know, Far Cry 3, like what it does different than Tomb Raider is that Tomb Raider is not open world, and it was not that it ever said it was going to be, but some of the reviews were saying that it's kind of this open world system because you could go back. To me, it's kind of open trail. It's one path that you can go back to some of the things along that very very linear path. As in Far Cry 3, you get to explore the entire island literally, you know.
Yeah, a good comparison to think of is like Arkham Asylum, where you're unlocking these new areas, but you can always go back to your old ones.
Right. But it's and that's fine. But it's an incredibly linear game, and honestly, the openness of it, I could care less about personally. I really enjoyed. It almost took away from some. It almost took something away from me having it be open because I really enjoyed just following that path, having my big events happen, having those big set pieces happen. Those big moments where bridges are collapsing under your feet and you're jumping from one thing to the next as everything's exploding. Those are great moments, and just the feeling that there might be more that I'm not getting because I didn't explore off the path almost irked me because I didn't want to explore off the path. I wanted to keep barreling through and having those great moments. It's not a Skyrim or Far Cry where I want to go explore and find the nuance. I just want to keep getting that fucking adrenaline rush that it gives me.
See, and I'm playing that completely different. I am not a completionist. I am not a collector by any means. But for some reason, this game has me hunting for GPS tags, relics, ancient scrolls, notes, journals. I mean, I am hunting them all down. If I see something, I am looking around. I'm moving slowly through the game just so I can try to find a lot of stuff. And I think I think I've already got more completion done than you, Rob, from what you were saying.
Possibly, because I'm kind of with Colin. I didn't really care about that stuff. I liked the main meat of the story. The way that the other objects are structured, it's more of kind of like a hide and go seek than it is a reward in and of itself for going and digging that stuff up, with the exception of tombs, which are kind of fun. But
the rewards aren't great enough, like in Skyrim or like Far Cry 3, there are very very game affecting rewards for doing something else. In this game I felt like it immediately gave me the feeling that by just going along the path, I'm going to find enough loot, I'm going to find enough weapon items that I'm going to pretty much level up almost all the way, if not all the way, and I'm going to be strong enough. That's all I need, so there's no grinding needed, there's no finding needed. And a note on the tombs, by the way, one-off puzzles, I gotta say, like, some interesting puzzles in there, but damn, like, could not care less.
I got glitched out in one. I called Rob because I'm like, well, I want to get a little farther before we get this podcast done. I'm in the tomb I'm on this platform that I've raised up that's square, and I'm supposed to run and jump and use my pickaxe to like hold onto a wall. But the game would not let me jump off of that platform. Tried for like 20 minutes, eventually reloaded from checkpoint and did it fine. But I wanted to point out, we're comparing this game to Far Cry a lot. Like, there's a lot of like talk about Far Cry. One thing I think Far Cry does have in this, or have against this game, I mean, of course, is the hunting system. Absolutely worthless. Like, they make the point that Lara needs to eat. Like, oh, you need to hunt food to eat. There's no hunger mechanic. Like, all it is let's get you better at using the bow, which is fine. That's great. And then we get your little bonus XP. Since you don't seem to get XP from killing people in this game, you get XP from finding things, from completing sets of challenges, from killing animals.
Dude, that was ridiculous. I forgot about that immediately. I remember when I saw that and I was like, oh god, I gotta think about that. Never thought about it again until you just mentioned it right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's worthless. She runs up and like you see her do a little cutting animation, and she gets I think some relics, relic points, or not relic points, but 10, salvage points.
She gets 10% XP, I think, from like the orange fruit or whatever,
Yeah.
Also,
that's ridiculous. Yeah.
Also, on the point of Far Cry 3, I actually think that at the beginning it hinted that it was going to kind of go down that road, but in the end, the game didn't remind me that much of Far Cry 3. It really reminded me of the Uncharted games. And I'm not the only one who's noticed this, and I'm curious what you guys think about how it kind of stacks up against those, because I definitely have my own thoughts about it. But
I think it's way better than the Uncharted games, considering the fact that I don't like the Uncharted games.
Oh, I feel literally 100% the exact opposite. I feel like these games went way too far for their own. They were too big for their britches, essentially. The Far Cry, God damn, I keep saying that. The Uncharted games, they are so well paced and so well done, that I feel like they understand what they are. And Tomb Raider didn't really get what it was. It thought it was this big open RPG with these, but trying to be Far Cry. God, oh my God, I can't even keep saying.
You were doing this last week too, Colin.
I
we
was.
Need to get you to a doctor.
Seriously, no, it's going to keep
the
being
game
Uncharted.
doctor.
It's right. No, so it's when it's good, it's very Uncharted, and then in its poor moments, it does everything else poorly. Just do that tunnel thing that Uncharted does, because all the RPG elements, the hunger things, those are all done really poorly, and all the Uncharted elements are done really well, but because it has those other elements, it's distracting, and it distracts from the main narrative, and anytime you're not pushing the main narrative, it's like any good story. If it doesn't add to the narrative, you're detracting from your experience. And I think that's what it did. I think Uncharted does these things very more precisely, more clearly, and it does them better. I think the mechanics are better. I think this game has more, like of the moment gigantic elements. I've only played Uncharted 1 and some of 2. I've never played 3, so I know 3 kind of set the bar a little higher for the big set piece stuff. So I would imagine, though, that this game went a little above and beyond on the moment-to-moment big set-piece things. Rob, you're going to have to correct me on this, but...
yeah, I would say no.
Okay.
And that's one of the things, is because it's so similar to Uncharted in so many ways, but Uncharted went so big so often that a lot of the times the big moments in this game, I'm trying to think of how I can not spoil anything, one involving a boat, one involving a parachute, they're cool, But it's like when I was playing, I was like, well, that was cool. It was no Uncharted, but it was cool. And
Right. It's just the characters feel more. Uncharted feels really Indiana Jones, obviously, and that's like
this
that's
is
where it
less
takes its influence.
romanticized. I won't say
It
it's more
is.
realistic, but it is less romanticized than the
It
Uncharted
is,
games, which is nice.
and you need that. I feel like for this adventure thing, like you want to feel like I think Indiana Jones, unless we're all, I personally I feel like that's the pinnacle of that style of storytelling, right? Like that's the best way you could have done that story, of adventure, relic finder, archaeologist, and then you put into a game form, and the closest we've got is Uncharted, and Lara Croft, excuse me, is getting close, but they missed the boat by trying to be too big for what they were trying to achieve. Like just be direct in what you want, be direct in what you're trying to achieve, and don't give us all this side bullshit that doesn't matter and doesn't mean anything to the game.
Yeah, I liked some of the side stuff. Like I didn't actually mind the upgrade system at all. I thought that was kind of nice. The tombs were nice, although I kind of feel like they just had to put them in there because they made a game and realized it was called Tomb Raider, and you didn't raid any tombs.
Right. And most of those tombs were not tombs. They were like modern industrial areas, some of them with electricity puzzles, like
Right.
so.
But I do agree with you that the game's at its strongest when it's sticking to its own narrative and not trying to just have all the extra stuff that's out there because gamers expect it in a modern game or whatever the reason that they put it in was.
Absolutely.
Hey,
The game is. Go ahead, Jordan.
Well, I'll just say, speaking of fun stuff, do you guys remember when, I don't know, I guess I'll call spoiler alert here since I don't know what I'm going to get hit with, the plane falling out of the sky. You remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You know that scene where you are sliding down the hill with the jet engine falling after you?
Yeah, that's great.
Did either of you guys fail that at all?
I
don't remember, man. I remember dying a lot in horrible ways in this game, which goes back to why I said Lara Croft's wacky slapstick adventure, because as Marco put it when I talked to him, it's like she falls down the whole island. Like she starts at the top of the island and then falls down it and manages to fall back up to the top of the island again.
Well,
Like if there was oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say because I was trying to fail that one, right, and I didn't. Like I was running into absolutely everything on the screen. Turns out there's one spot that I missed, and there's a pipe being hidden by some boxes, and if you hit the boxes, you end up getting the pipe through the bottom of your jaw and out through the top of your head.
That happens all the time during that. There's like 5 places that same animation can happen. By the way.
Oh really?
It's the same animation. Yeah, it's awful. It's it goes like the pipe goes from like under the chin out the top of the head, and Laura kind of like helplessly bats at it with her hands for a second and then goes limp, and it's terrible. It's just it's a horrible death scene.
Did a wolf get you guys? Like, did a wolf kill you?
The wolf in the cave? Yeah, that shit was ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
That's one of the worst QTEs I have ever played in any video game ever. By the way, it's so.
See, I never got killed by that wolf. I just met one of the wolves out and about. I got killed by one of them, dude. And if they get on top of you and they start like you fail the QTE there, like they bat your head aside and then just go for a neck grab and you see them just bite and twist. I'm just like, oh my god.
Same animation.
Do you guys feel like if there was a rake, just one rake on this whole island, that Lara Croft would find it and step on it? Because that's what I kept thinking.
Wow. It would have a nail at the end that would just go into her heart. It would just
I'll tell you what, she's a hard ass because she gets her ass handed to her over and over, just hurts so bad. And it's funny because even if you're like, there was a point in the game where there was like a ledge way too far, and I'm like, oh, I can't make that. And I was looking around for something, and I was like, oh, fuck it, I'll try. And like made it. I was like, oh my god, I made that jump. Nobody could make that jump. And then it was like, there's moments in the game where you're like, oh, like I can't drop down there. That's like 40-foot drop. Like that would break my legs and my spine. I don't see any other way. Well, I'm gonna try it. I'm fine.
Yeah, she just takes a knee real quick and just starts running again. I mean, yeah, she can fall some amazing heights.
Like she could take a 40-foot drop.
She is so amazing that she hits water off a cliff and it doesn't splash.
Well, she starts the game off by pulling a piece of rebar through her torso and then just shrugs it off. So
Well, I do notice
No,
that she
Made
puts
of
her
some
hand to
strong
that spot
stuff.
throughout the
you
game.
hunkered over for a while after that, actually, but
But she also does when you get hurt, like her hands go to that spot too. I noticed, by the way.
that's true.
Which
Yeah, yeah. The animation system you were talking about earlier, where like she holds the torch up and reacts to her environment, is really great. Like she like she kind of like feels plants as she goes by, and like kind of like when something's hot near her, she holds up her hands to like kind of like
shield
guard
herself.
her face from the heat.
Oh,
Like there's a
she's
lot of
easily the best animated video game character that I've seen. That is
oh,
just
it's
super well done.
crazy nuanced. Yeah, so much nuance to like holding up the flame and looking at things. And I'll tell you, the first time you're in the flame in the cave with her right at the beginning of the game, and the fire is kind of spreading out as it hits the top of the rocks, and I turned the camera on her face, and it's playing on her face, and she's dirty. You're like, wow, that's good. That's good looking. It's a good looking game, you know.
I did like to see, by the way, 3 hours after I got shot with an arrow in a cutscene, that cut is still there.
Oh, I
Like
didn't notice.
in
Pay attention to that.
Yeah, you got hit in the right arm with an arrow, a glancing blow, and that cut is still there.
Huh, yeah, there's a I mean, they did a really good job. Like her shirt, as I like to call it, as I was playing John McClane's out. Like it starts to. If you ever notice in a Die Hard game or a Die Hard movie, like Die Hard 1, his wife beater is pure white, and by the end it is totally brown. That does really well. Her tank top is ripped and dirty. By the end, it slowly changes over time, which I thought was a nice effect.
So yeah, Injustice: Gods Among Us looks like a good game.
What?
it went quiet. So,
Yeah, I was
anyway.
like, okay, maybe I'm alone in that noticing that John McClane action there. Anyway, guys, let's go round robin real quick and kind of give our final thoughts on this game. I know Jordan, you're not all the way there, but what do you think of the game so far?
Well, I had Rob spoil a big bit for me earlier on.
No, that was your fault.
That was not my fault. I had no idea that. So Rob goes, yeah, the bow's great. Bow's fantastic. I mean, the shotgun's good for, it's something I'm not going to spoil. And I'm like, just completely joking. Oh, you mean when blah 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 happens? And he's like, well, yeah. I'm like, you son of a bitch. So I'm looking forward to that. So.
What else was I supposed to say? You were like, you mean when that thing happens? It's like, oh, someone already told you. So,
Nope,
yeah.
that was Jordan guessing.
Oh, well, if you can guess, dude, it's not like you're not going to see anything in this game that's going to be like blow your mind. Like
No,
I
there's
can't
no surprises.
aliens landed then. Yeah, no, it's building. It's very predictable, but it should be. It should be like an Indiana Jones movie is very predictable. It should be predictable in that sense that you know where you're going and you're going to have fun doing it the whole time. Rob, what do you think?
I think it's good, and fortunately, it's one of the few games I've ever played that gets better as it goes along right up to the end. Like the last level is the best thing you play. At the end, I felt very satisfied. So even though I really hated the first hour and a half, I'm still pretty positive on the game. I think people should pick it up.
Absolutely, and I totally agree with Rob. I don't think this is a spoiler. I think you see this in the trailers. There's there's an enemy varietal that comes along at some point, and I think that adds a nice flair to it near the end, and it makes it very fun. It did build up to the end. I was very satisfied with the end of the game, which I'm usually not. And yeah, I had a really good time playing it. I don't know if I'll replay it, but I don't replay a lot of games, and I had a blast playing through my first time. So anyway, it looks like we're all enjoying Lara Croft's game, the new Tomb Raider. So if you want to tell us that we were wrong or that you're not enjoying it, or if you just want to get at us, please contact us at gameoutloudpodcast@gmail.com. You can also tweet us at GameOutLoudcast. And of course, you can always find us on bagofgames.com, which is our home. And please check out bagofgames.com for their great writing and great video game journalism. So, Rob, I'd like to thank you for coming on today.
Absolutely.
Great. And Jordan, thank you again.
Always a pleasure, my friend.
It's been good. This is our 1 year anniversary, and I think it's only appropriate that is only the OGs, the original Game Out Loud cast crew that is on today. So, guys, it's been a freaking awesome year. I, I'm I'm so happy and slightly surprised we've all stuck it through this long, and I think that we've gotten this far. I think we can get many, many years to come. So thanks again. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of the Game Out Loud podcast. Hope you've enjoyed this year of the Game Out Loud podcast, and we will see you next year and next time.